The total votes cast were 4,561,221. Total valid votes cast were 4,468,668. Total votes rejected, 92,553. Our total voter population was 6,623,511. The voter turnout was 68.9%. Now, therefore, I, Priscilla Makanyara Chigumba, the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, in terms of Section 110, subsection 3, do hereby declare that Mnangagwa Emmerson Mnangagwa of ZANU-PF Party has received 2,350,711 votes out of 4,468,730 valid votes cast, which are more than half the number of valid votes cast in the presidential election. Therefore, Mnangagwa Emmerson Mnangagwa of ZANU-PF Party is declared duly elected President of the Republic of Zimbabwe with effect from 26 August 2023. So
guys, there you say it. The President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe won re-election. And I just heard a little, and it was a very peaceful, it was peaceful. There was no riot breakout. There wasn't, elections typically have ups and downs, but it's fairly enough. It was a decent election, no major issues. And well, he's elected to a second term. He gets 51% of the vote, which was a little over 2-point-something mil. You have almost 4.5 million people voted out of the 6 million eligible voters. So let's listen to President Mnangagwa speak after he won the election, and also we're going to hear the opponent speak as well, and then we'll discuss it after. Boom.
Sure that very few people in this country will say that the elections were marred by any violence, because there was no violence at all. And I think this is what we should, as Zimbabweans, cherish and continue to maintain. This is now shows how mature our democracy is. As a sovereign state, we continue to call on all our guests to respect our national institutions as they conclude their work.
Fellow citizens and citizens of the world, we stand here in the aftermath of a highly contested election. Of an election that poll observers from across the board, all observer missions without exception, have rightly described as an election that is so damaged in reputation and that is so fraudulent in characterization, that falls short beneath the requirements of the Zimbabwean Constitution, the electoral laws, and the guidelines of our regional, continental, and global bodies. Let me say that the electoral body, ZEC, regrettably and once again failed to perform its constitutional mandate by not announcing the correct and the accurate results. Notwithstanding the flaws of the election, genuine results should have been announced. And we have the genuine result because we are working on the V11. It is clear that we are rejecting the election as a sham, the result. The process itself, we disregard it, and it's in line with what the SADC observers have said. We reject this sham result and flawed process based on the disputed figures.
Been some negative report. Who runs a perfect election? We are not making any more issue now about what SADC says, because the result is out. We are not making an issue out of it. We would want to take any positives out of that report and proceed. And we hope that the heads of state will also help Zimbabwe. Once again, we hope the people of Zimbabwe will remain peaceful. It has been peaceful to date. We also hope that the political actors will act in a responsible manner and use the given constitutional avenues to redress any grievances which they may have. That's the way it should be done. Judges are fair.
So here you see President Mnangagwa was saying that it was the same thing I was saying earlier. It's fairly, riot broke out. It was fairly peaceful, and every election has its issues. There's no election that does not have problems. So, as you heard the opponent speak, the one that lost, that's naturally people who lose an election in any country. Pick any country, they always say it's not fair, or it's fraud, or they always have this. But the good thing about a democracy is they have the court system to go through. If they don't agree with the result, they can go to the courts, and the courts can look over everything and make sure the person who have to win. So as the other gentleman was saying, I forget his name, he's saying the judges are there to fulfill their judicial roles. The court system is there, and the constitution is also there to say, if you feel like the election was stolen from you, or it was fraud, or it wasn't fair, you go to the court, you put a complaint, and then the court will go through the recounting and make sure who had to have voted, and stuff like that, and then we'll get to see basically what the end result is. But so far, Zimbabwe had a peaceful election. As I said, there was a few little hiccups here and there, like some polling stations got their ballots late. I was listening to some of the news, and a couple of things, but I don't want to go through every single issue, but because my point is, every country that, remember when President Ruto of Kenya won his term, there was a lot of, it was stolen, it was fraud was involved, and they went to the court system, and the court said, well, the right person won, everything was good. So this is not going to happen here. This is what I like. This is what we call democracy. They act as if African countries don't have democracy. We do have democracy. The West now, look at what happened in the States when President Biden won and Trump lost. They basically started a riot and attacked the Capitol. And up to today, you still have people saying President Biden is not the president of America, Trump is. So, for all those who claim they're very democratic and they're most moral people, they're the ones that give the most problem when it comes to the election. Americans, English, all over the globe. But now they want to put a spotlight on Africa as if Africa is the most corrupt place on the planet, when we have better elections on the continent than the Western world. Check it out. We see it's same thing with Germany, with Italy, and those places. They have big fights. I'm saying fights like fist fights, and demonstrations and looting and all kind of things happen when these elections happen in these major countries that they claim that they are democratic. So anyway, so let me know what you think about this. President is re-elected to Zimbabwe. He's going to continue the work of making Zimbabwe become one of the countries to be recognized, even though they are still heavily sanctioned by the West. And when I say heavily, but they are still, so you're going to have some issues in the country because of sanctions. So again, one more plus with the BRICS current expansion, and with the focus on agriculture, which Zimbabwe is a growing force when it comes to agriculture. So it's all up. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but I think they will make it with this president in power. I don't know much about the opponent, so I can't say, but I'll do some more research on him, and then I'll come back and make a video on it and let you know what's going on. So anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section about President Mnangagwa won re-election in Zimbabwe. What are you expecting, especially Zimbabweans? If you can leave a comment in the comment section, let me know what you think about the election, how you thought it went. Was it fair enough? Was there any fraud, or was that a clean election? Let me know what you think about it. I don't know. Peace, one love. Boom.